difference. Okay, back to the ledger. History, this will go and put your chat history down in here, all the messages you receive, and that's the end of the ledger here. Now this is taking a while, but you might want to know these things. Up here, it'll give you any little flags. I will explain them as they come. Right now, it says this chair symbol here means that we're missing people in our advisor slots, which I'll show you in a second. We're missing a bishop, a marshal, a chancellor, and a spy master. If you click on your character's portrait up here, it'll bring up a detailed screen, as you saw earlier. It'll tell you your liege, the one who rules over you, your vassals, if you have anyone under you, your allies, your parents, you can go trace back those histories, your spouse, so your wife, your children, your friends, siblings, successors. You want to keep an eye on this, because the whole game is run by your family, so you want to always make sure that someone with this blood symbol, you can see it up here, is always first. Rivals. These two things come into effect in what events come up in the game. Court members, so these are people who currently occupy your court and can be hired, are not your children. They can be put into any position. As you can see here, they'll get different icons depending what they are. She's my steward, so she has a little chest icon here. Alright, up here we have our traits. So my character is just, so it'll give you a little blurb. You can be as detailed as you want, but it actually just tells you 1 plus to stewardship, 1 minus 1 to marshal. He has a lisp, which gives him -1 diplomacy. He uses a stutter, which is another -1 diplomacy, and he's a naive puppet master, which gives him +1 to intrigue, -1 to marshal, and -1 to stewardship. Marshal. If you hover over any of these, it'll give you a description. Marshal will depend on how big the armies that you can field in the game are. Diplomacy deals with how people like you, so this is very important when you have vassals, because vassals have the loyalty here, and you want to keep them devotedly loyal, so that they don't go and betray you and stab you in the back. Intrigue deals with assassinations, and it also tells you the default number of how many provinces you can control. I forget what the actual calculation is. I think it's 1.5 times the number of your intrigue here. It's based on your intrigue alone. I'll explain the numbers and brackets in a second. Stewardship, how much money your character can earn, as will be determined by this value. The values in brackets, these are your characters as a ruler's vassal, abilities, plus those of your people serving as your marshal, your chancellor, your spy master, or your steward. Since my wife is my steward, her 11 plus my 6 will give us 17 stewardship for our nation. If you want to know more about your kingdom, you click your icon here, the little shield icon, and that will also take you anywhere on the map back to your home province. I can turn back on, oh, wrong one. By going to the menu here, you can go and options and change the sound effects volume. I'm going to keep this as low as I can because it can get rather loud, as you'll see in a second. Oh, 68. Yeah, we'll leave it at 68. And listen, so that sound there gets really loud if you let it. I'm going to turn up the menu here, options. I'm going to turn up the music volume a bit to 15. We'll leave this at, well, let's put it up to 72. So I'm hoping you'll still be able to hear me. Anyway, so you click this, it'll transport you and make that sound from anywhere on the map to your home province where your shield is represented. In here, you've got all the actions, diplomatic. You can create bishoprics, which if you have a bishop, you can create little tiny provinces. This, if you are a count and you create a bishopric, it will become independent from you. Remember that. If you create or grant a title or anything, they will be independent of you. Granting titles, if you have more than one province, you can grant a duke title if you own it, you can grant a kingdom title if you own it, or you can grant a count title if you own that province. You can create titles if you have 66% of all the listed provinces and the required gold to create it. It will give you prestige, and it will give you that title added on. It is usually a kingdom title or a duke title. Sending assassins, you can send assassins to your own court to kill people. Mobilize host will, if you click it, mobilize the host in your own province here. If you are a ruler and you click Grand Mobilization, it will mobilize. It will ask to mobilize all the armies in every province, even your vassals' provinces, and they get to agree whether or not. This is where loyalty comes in. If they are loyal to you, they will allow you to field their troops, but they will lose loyalty because you are using their troops. They will cost you nothing, but you will still have to deal with that. Okay, back to the screen. The court screen here. You can click it. You can appoint chancellors if you have them, stewards, marshals, spy masters, and bishops. The marshal position and the bishop position are ones that can only be occupied by male courtiers. After I start the game, I will get more people to be able to put in these. In here, we have what you want them to research. There is no time-related thing. You basically will choose one, and it will build towards what you as a country are. So if I chose thought, I might get a Aristotelian logic. I'm not exactly sure some of the effects of some of these, so you'll have to bear with me on that. But when you click it, you notice how some of the country's colors change down here. By these down here, you can tell what advancement they have. So since Zaragoza, this province here, is blue, it has natural philosophy. And since the one beside it has yellow, they have astrology and astronomy, and so on and so forth. It'll be the same if you click through any of the others here. If you click the treasury screen, you can change scutage. This will depend on how much your vassals pay you money being their liege. Oh, actually, no, this is... it'll also reduce the amount of armies they can field. So the higher the scutage, the smaller the armies your vassals can field. Here, crown duty will affect how much your nobles will like you or not. The higher the crown duty, the less they will like you. They will have a negative monthly loyalty. I'll explain nobles and all those things later. Census tax, same thing with peasants. Tolls, same thing with the burghers. Army upkeep. So this will depend on how much you're paying your army. If you have it maxed out, you will pay your army in full. They are expensive, so be very aware of where this is. If it's down here, they will start attritioning out and losing troops if they're in foreign lands. So, but if your liege asks you to field your troops, put army upkeep to 0 so that your liege pays for the troops, not you. Church donations is the same thing with clergy. This will also change your piety per month by your donations. So you can put that up high, you can do whatever you want with that. And then it'll do an income, expense, and total down here. So I've got an income of 3.5, my expenses are 1.9, and my total is 1.6 per month. Here, we have our laws screen. It's a little bit messed up because of the mod, but usually you will have your inheritance laws all up here. Your ruling style here, and your church style down here. Here it will allow you to choose what you want to do. You can change these only once per 5 years, and they all have their own effects. To start this game, I'm going to put it so that all titles go to the strongest child, if dead, his oldest brother, and so on. If the child survives, the strongest grandchild inherits, and so on. Strength depends on military attribute, prestige, and ownership of provinces. That's going to be how my inheritance goes. I'm going for feudal contract. This will ensure that my vassals get more loyal over time. So that's nice for me. We'll also get tournament events. It also changes what you can do with your tolls and so on. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go for my religious things, I'm going to go from regal supremacy to ecclesial balance. This means that I'll have will be undermined over time. And I won't get any usury events. Clergy power in your provinces give you some gold and some troops. This is usually how I like to be. And it tells you how the Catholic bishop is appointed. 50% ruler, 50% pope. I actually am going to go because I want high church. I'll go church supremacy. This will strengthen religious authority. But actually, let's leave it for a difference. I'll leave it on regal supremacy, and this will undermine my religious authority. Anyways, so that's done. We'll just start running the game now. So let's click the date and stop it right there. It'll autosave, so it'll lag a bit in that. And as you can see, if you stop it right after, you'll be handed some randomly generated vassals, which you can then assign to whatever location you want. So this is diplomacy, they're both the same diplomatic. You have nobody for a marshal, that's a scary thought. But we can see Beatrice is better at being our spy master. And now if you click on her again, she gets this little dagger and letter icon. Our chancellor will put Berengila Fernandez. She will be our chancellor if she gets this piece of paper here. So, we'll start running the game. Actually, I'm going to change the speed to very fast. I suggest you do this. And only change it down when you're actually in a war. So, you don't have to deal with all the waiting that this game implies. Don't worry, things will happen. They will, eventually. Oh, and we can see we just discovered short bows. So you can go over here, you see the tick. It says we have now the first level, short bows. I'm actually, since I'm going to research some schools, because I like having schools. I'm going to leave on farming techniques for now. Did I miss anything in my... I don't think so, not really. So we just wait. Oh, I actually didn't notice that. We just got given the title of Duke of Castile. So that means that our king created the Duke title and gave it to us. What this is going to mean, though, is that you're going to have to save your game. Why? Because this game does not cope well for when you actually ascend the ranks. So now I can have vassals and such. But yeah, if you become a duke, you will have to, if you go to your grab title, you'll find that things just go skyrocketing through the roof for grabbing things. This was 180, now it's 730. That's because of the glitch in this game. So we'll just surrender out, and we'll reload the game as the Duke of Castile. Yep, single player. Oh, Duchy of Castile. There we go. I didn't think... I forgot that this character usually gets the Duke title. So, yeah, this will be interesting. It gives me less of a chance to peace out, though, with the choice of vassalization, especially with the Muslims to the south, especially in this game. You will want that. I curse my friends who've chosen this one for me. Alright everyone, welcome back. We've loaded the game, and I'll just start the year timer again. You can see with extremely fast, years go by really quickly. Oh, I must have just gotten Maria de la Cuerva in my court. She is extremely loyal, but she's losing stuff each month. And the King of Navarra, it looks like, has asked me to marry... What are you in relation to him? I don't even know. A person to my courtier. So I'm going to decline this because I need the courtiers right now. It's handed me 2 other ones. We're still all female, so I'm not going to be able to use them effectively. But I'm going to put her in as my chancellor for a while here. And our steward is still our best. Our marshal, we can't put anybody in. And Beatrice, she's still our best spymaster. So, yeah. Since our wife is 32, we're not probably going to be producing any more children. But that'll come. We'll see if anything happens there. Who knows? Maybe we produce an odd child at the age of... Whoa. Okay, so these are the sort of events you're going to get. Since I guess this is an event involving my child, we also see that the King of Aragon wants to marry somebody to the one I just declined. Well, actually, accept. We'll hand her off because she's losing loyalty anyway, and I don't want to deal with that. Now, we get the choice here. Your child is coddled and gets a lot of attention from everyone, but if this continues, the child will be spoiled. So we get to answer, it doesn't matter. He'll outgrow it as an adult, and he has gained the trait Indulgent. He will lose Celibate if he has it. These traits make up your character and will influence what events you get. He'll lose 25 prestige. Since he's going to be inheriting, we don't really want that. And he'll gain the trait Lazy. Lazy and Indulgent are usually seen as negative traits. You can play a character like that, but yeah. Or you can go Enough. We don't want him to grow soft. And he'll gain Temperate. Temperate means that he'll become less fertile, but he will... Well, I'll show you once we get it. He'll gain 25 prestige. Oh, we lose Temperate. Okay. Ah, that's better. And he loses he gains Energetic. So we want that for our kid. He's now Temperate. Oh, he is Temperate. So, character is self-restrained and content with the basics of life. This character does nothing to the excess, seeing it as wrong or evil. We get -2 to Fertility, +1 to Diplomacy, and +2 to Piety. Fertility is one of those things you can't see. It's how they produce children, how many children they can have. Best ways to look at that is if you have a character who is female, you want to marry, you look at her parents or how many siblings she has. That will usually show the fertility of the character.